Did you know that everything created by Clamp is basically all within the same universe? Well, maybe not the same universe, but it's a multiverse. Welcome to Mel's March Madness, a limited time series where I talk about all of my favorite anime, manga, and manhwa throughout the month of March. In this video, we'll be covering the letter T, and the letter T stands for Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles, or what I often just call it is Tsubasa Chronicles. If you grew up watching Cardcaptors or Cardcaptor Sakura, then the characters in Tsubasa Chronicles may look familiar to you. Yes, they are indeed Sakura and Syaoran from Cardcaptor, but in a completely different universe. How about that? So, when I heard that, I instantly had to watch this. Mind you, it's been like maybe a decade or more since this anime has come out. Like, I'm talking about I was in high school, man. And while I never got to see the end of the story through the anime, it definitely encouraged me to read the manga, and lo and behold, this actually is my very first manga. A little bit of lore on me. As the story goes though, Sakura is the princess of this kingdom, known as the Kingdom of Cloud. Interesting there, right? And Syaoran, friends with the princess, childhood friends, is an archaeologist. One day, Sakura follows Syaoran into one of the ruins that he is working in, and she gets kind of spirited away. She falls into a coma, and Syaoran, her childhood friend, and I think indicated early on secretly in love with her, goes on a quest to get her spirit back. But the difficult thing is that her spirit has been broken down into all of these different feathers and spread across many different dimensions. He requests the help of a mysterious witch who grants him the ability to travel dimensions along with some other characters that will join him on the journey. Yeah, this story is real meta, like I'm talking very deep. And if you've seen any of Clamp's works, you'll notice that this witch is from xxxHolic. And I think some of the other characters may come from other Clamp stories that I may not be as familiar with, considering some of the stories that I've seen from Clamp is Cardcaptor Sakura, xxxHolic, and Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles itself. So if you like a story that will leave you a little bit tripped up, definitely has a lot of drama in it, plenty of twists, and can sometimes be a little hard to follow, then Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles is for you. There's definitely a lot to be said here about Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles that cannot be done in a short or a short long video, if you get what I mean. With the variety of characters that come from different Clamp stories coming together in one story, but then for them to dimension hop in hopes of saving Sakura's life is one thing, and one trippy thing at that. But it's another thing when they start to introduce other stuff like clones and who's really who. And then you start to play this game of who's who in the game of Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicle. This story is filled with sacrifice, as Yuko from xxxHolic does not grant a wish without a price. Everything must come at a price. And in this story, it emphasizes a lot of that point. Because in their journey to hopefully gain all of these feathers back that belong to Sakura, Syaoran must give up all of Sakura's memories that involve him. So even if he does get her back to her full self and her full form and bring her back to life, she will not remember any ounce of him. But again, as I mentioned earlier, and I will not reveal who, there are a lot of clones in Tsubasa Chronicles. So who's who? And is this journey really worth it? But there's definitely something about a story that's as complex as this one, and how love is at the base root of it. Because Syaoran is willing to go to almost any length in hopes of getting Sakura back, as well as some of the other characters to an extent. Because some of the other characters have a similar dilemma as to Syaoran, where one is hoping to get back to their home that they've been banished from, and then in contrast, another person who wishes to actually never go home and thus joins their journey in finding a new home. There's plenty of action in between all of the drama and the twists though, because there's no way you can cross-hop dimensions without encountering any trouble, right? But I think I'll just end this by saying that if you have watched or read anything from the whole Clamp universe, like any of the stories that I've mentioned or anything outside of that that's still part of Clamp, I highly encourage you watch, but more so read this story, because I feel like it will give you a sense of nostalgia as they pull in all the characters from other universes to complete this story. Hopefully you're enjoying Mel's March Madness as it's coming to an end. Stay tuned for that live coming soon so that you can vote on what my next long form video will be. However, that's going to do it for me. I'm Mel, the host of AniMel, and I will catch you all on the next one. Bye!